Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Yasharallah. Call Haloyim Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakakodash, for blessing our elders with the spirit of truth, so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Akwaf that's keeping the faith in the works. Y'all keep at it. It's your brother Abaya coming at you on more precepts. This is the book of Sirach, which is Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 29 and verse 21. Says the chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and an house to cover shame. Right? This devil knows this information, and that's why the majority of Israel's or the majority of the Most High's people live in such bad conditions, because it's all about control, right? Rationing out things so that you can control the people with things, and these said things, like I just read, are the chief things for life. Right? We go to the book of Amos, because the Most High's people have been laxed in the daughter of Babylon. Right? Really no fear for real. Just been here hoping things get better and praying for this place to get back on its feet for whatever crazy ass reason I don't understand, but it is what it is. This Amos 6:1, it says, "Woe to them that are at ease in Zion and trust in the mountain of Samaria, which are named chief of the nations, to whom the house of Israel came." Right? This place is named chief of the nations, to which we came. Right? And scripture said, "Death and destruction to you that are at ease in this place." And the Most High is about to make this ease, so-called, He's going to make it uneasy real quick. Right? It's not like it already hasn't been, right? But, those of us that can see it, we clearly know this ain't our place of rest, right? But the majority of the Most High's people, they don't see it that way. Salat, 1 second. All right, so one way the Most High is gonna begin to make this place uncomfortable, right? Along with so many other things, is going to be the famine, right? So this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Right? But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. It says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So with that, I'm going to let this video play and I'll be back.
In retrospect, Joe Biden's first-term policy agenda seems very optimistic, almost comically optimistic. Shortly before his inauguration, Biden announced something he called the Build Back Better agenda. Of course, we mocked it at the time. But looking back, it was in some ways a hopeful document. America must have been a very rich country back then. And by back then, we mean last year. There weren't a lot of essentials in Biden's agenda. The first three things that any normal nation needs and thinks about obsessively are food, water, and energy. That's the standard. In China, for example, every government policy, foreign and domestic, is designed above all to secure adequate reserves of food, water, and energy. And that makes sense. The Build Back Better agenda was the opposite of that. It did not suggest any concern at all about whether Americans might have enough to eat or could afford enough heating fuel to keep from freezing to death over the winter. Biden's agenda was focused on the kind of added extras you get to when you fixed everything else and then still have trillions left over. Build Back Better promised us something called environmental equity, whatever that is. It demanded amnesty for millions of illegal aliens because, at the time, the American economy seemed robust enough to share with the entire world. Universal health care for Honduras. Biden called for free solar panel for everybody and taxpayer-funded pre-K for all American parents, and so on and on. Build Back Better was the neoliberal version of flying cars. It was a dreamy Christmas list of luxuries that for a moment in time seemed almost within reach. A lot has changed. Nobody's talking about flying cars anymore. Here's Joe Biden from yesterday.
Every morning, I get our shop spray nitrogen. It's EPA and NSF approved.
With regard to food shortage, yes, we did so talk about food shortages. And it's going to be real. The price of these sanctions is not just imposed upon Russia. It's imposed upon an awful lot of countries as well, including European countries and our country as well. And because both Russia and Ukraine have been the breadbasket of Europe in terms of wheat, for example, just to give you one example.
Food shortages, Biden said, quote, they're going to be real. Once again, in case you missed it, to repeat, food shortages. Not in Sudan, in Cincinnati, in Reno, in Spokane, and Norfolk, and of course in our big cities too, where not a single person who was born here has any idea what a food shortage is. Our problem has always been having too much food. Now we won't have enough. We know that because the President of the United States just told us that on camera.
Right. So, this is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 15 from the top. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. That's where this word come from, right? It come from our forefathers being instructed by the Spirit of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, to write down the visions that they saw and to write down their life experiences. And the words that are written in this book are faithful and true. Verse 3, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Right? The Most High can't allow them to continue on because it's only so much wickedness that was supposed to be let loose on this earth. Right? If, and this is me speaking as a man, if the Most High, I believe, if the Most High allows these individuals to continue on in rulership, there will be no more earth. There will be no more humanity. There will be no more wildlife. There will be no more clean air. Look at what they do in the movies, man. When 9 times out of 10, when Esau make a film about the future, it's somewhere else. It's above the clouds. It's some city above the clouds or some space station or inhabiting some other planet or something. It's because they know as long as they are in charge, the future in this place is bleak, right? But the Most High said it ain't going to take long for these people to fall once the ball gets rolling to its full potential, right? I'm going to go to the book of Revelation, chapter 18, and verse 8. It says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is Yahweh power who judgeth her. And that hour coming up, or that day rather, is coming up real soon. Right? Go to verse 10, it says, Well, let me keep reading, rather. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. 1 day and 1 hour. Right? But for the majority of the Most High's people, you're going to be involved in it. Right? But 1/3, a remnant of the Most High's people, 144,000 of the Most High's people will escape this. All right? Let me go to the book of Romans. Romans chapter 8 and verse 35. Let me see. All right, so like I said, a remnant of the Most High's people will escape this. But the reality of this thing is that it's here. All of the end time prophecies are here. All right? It's Romans 8:35. It says, Who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? As it is written, For thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. All right? So we've been let this world go. Right? Those of us that are operating in the spirit of truth and the spirit of holiness to the best of our ability, been let this world go. And we suffer for it. Get ridiculed for it. Lose friends and family for it. Right? Verse 37, though, it says, Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. Right? The Most High gives us a certain spirit to carry on. Right? That's why he says, I'm roughly paraphrasing this, it's going to come a time where they're going to lock us up. They're going to put hands on the saints. But you take no thought for the words that you're going to speak, because the words that you speak, they coming from the Father. They're going to be from the spirit of holiness. Right? It's something inside of us, man, that won't allow us to stop, take our hand off the plow, look back into the world. Right? And how about Shema Shah? I'm speaking about me, and I'm speaking about you too if you're watching this. All right, something inside of us that will allow us to endure until the end and be saved. All right? So I'm going to end with this. The book of Isaiah, chapter 65, and verse 13. It says, I'm going to do 13. It says, Therefore thus saith Yahweh power, Behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. All right? Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. The Most High said his servants will eat, his servants will drink, his servants will rejoice. So now the question is, who are you serving? Power or mammon? Because these prophecies, they are true, and we are seeing them unfold before our eyes. So with that, Yahweh Shemi Shai Ratazah, these precepts in this video were edifying. Call Holoigim Yahweh Shemi Yahweh Shai Bahashem Harakat Kodash Shalom Yashala.